Well, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting of Heritage Oakville to order. We are present in person at the council chambers, and we're also broadcasting online, and people can watch it also later on the town's YouTube channel. And for anyone who is at home watching us who wants to follow along with the materials that we have, they can get the agenda and materials by going to oakville.ca and looking on the tab Town Hall Agendas and Meetings, and they will quickly be able to view the same materials that we're using. Delegations, there's been a slight change in the process here. Delegations, whether in person or remotely, must register by noon on the business day prior to the meeting. It's an easy process. You can go to that same Town Hall Meetings and Agendas tab, and there is an online registration form that you can use, and it's quite easy and simple. Just do it by noon on the business day prior to the meeting to register your delegation. And we have one registered delegation for today's meeting. And I'd remind everybody that we are an advisory committee and that we make recommendations to Planning and Development Council. And the recommendations that we make today will be dealt with by Planning and Development at their meeting on June the 16th, which is at 6:30 p.m. And I just remind you again about delegating for that meeting. Do we have any regrets, Madam Secretary?
Yes, Jason Judson and Emma Dowling will not be attending.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest with respect to the matters today? Okay.
Yes, I do have pecuniary today. I have a heritage grant.
You sorry?
Heritage grant is on the agenda, I believe.
No.
Is it not on the?
That was last time.
Then I don't have one.
Good, good. I was wondering because you hadn't had it before. And anyway, that's good. So there are no declarations of pecuniary interest. The minutes of the previous meeting were circulated. Does anyone have any comments on these? Russ, you would like to give me a motion to approve the minutes as circulated? Thank you. Is there any further discussion on that? Anyone opposed to that motion? The motion is carried and the minutes are approved. Having got rid of this sort of head-end boilerplate to get the meeting underway, I'd like to just pause for a moment, if I may, to recognise the passing of a long-term foundational member of this committee, namely Jamie McRae. You will, I think almost everybody on this committee has either knew Jamie or worked with him on the committee. And we just know how passionate he was about heritage in Oakville. And the passionate came honestly because his roots were deep in this town, unto the third and fourth generation almost. Jamie and Jane Hockrig, his wife, are active members of this community and contributed a huge amount to the development of heritage in Oakville. Jamie had a boat, an Itra. It's a wooden-hulled sailing vessel that was always moored on Dock 1 at the Oakville Club. And I had the pleasure of sailing in her with Jamie a few times. I think a couple of times he got me down to help pump her out, because people who know wood vessels will know that when you haul them out, as we have to do because of the weather that we have, when you haul them out for the winter and leave them to stand in low humidity conditions, the boards shrink. So when you put her back into the water, in fact, sometimes people pour water into the boat, you want the boards to swell again so that you will seal up all the joints. Well, you've got to bail all that out. You've got a pump to do that. And I think sometimes Jamie got me down there just to help him with the pumping. But anyway, she was a pleasure to sail, and Jamie was just a pleasure to work with. We'll miss him. We'll cherish his memory. Thank you. Okay, our first item of business is item number 4, which is the discussion item on the construction of a new house at 81 Allen Street, and that is Carolyn.
All right, yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So you were all familiar with this one as we had it on the agenda last week. So I'll take you through just a bit of history on the file, and then we'll look at the changes, the new design that we're looking at today. So the new design is what you see on the screen here. and I'll take you back through some background. So again, it's located on Allen Street, right at the intersection of Robinson. It is in the 1st and 2nd Street district, facing the old Oakville Heritage Conservation District. So again, it's designated as part of the 1st and 2nd Street District, but as a non-historic, non-contributing property. And the owners have been applying for a new 2-story house on the property. And this is the 3rd version that the committee is seeing today. So going back to November of 2024, this was what was proposed here for that you see on the screen for the new 2-story house. That application also included the demolition of the 1-story 1950s house, and that demolition has already been completed. So this is what they initially came in with, which was approved, recommended for approval by the committee. And then in April of this year, they came back with a new design for a 2-story house, similar or same footprint, but a different look, different materials. And the committee had some concerns with the amount of glazing on the front elevation. So it was referred back to the committee for some redesign with the owners and the applicants, and that's what we're bringing back to you today. And I'm trying to move forward on the slide. There we go. So the above is what was last month in April, and below are the changes that you're seeing today, excuse me. So the changes are really just in that central portion, where you can see the glazing has changed quite a bit, and I'll walk you through a little bit more in detail about the changes. So in terms of the front elevation, the central shed dormer in the middle was lowered in height, and the eaves of the central roof line next to it were also lowered in height somewhat. And the large area of glazing in the center has been broken up. So instead of the large sections of glass and panels, it's now been broken up into 3 sets of windows. And these are all a sort of taller, skinny, proportionate windows that match the rest of the windows in the house. And then the recessed porch height has also been lowered in height, so that entranceway is also lower as well. And there is a side window, which you can't see in this elevation, but you can see in the renderings, which I'll show you. To the left of the door, there is a side window, and it's actually been lengthened so that it goes to the floor now. And you can see that here in this image. So just to the left of the door, the windows have changed slightly. But again, significantly less glazing on the front elevation. And then there were a few other minor changes. I'll just bring you to the south elevation to show you the side door has been moved slightly and the side lights have been removed. And then going around to the rear elevation, very minor changes. There were 2 small windows at the rear removed and 1 small window, basement window removed as well. Very little impact in terms of its impact on the streetscape. And then on the north elevation, 1 window was removed in the new design. Here's a streetscape image. This is showing how the house will fit into the streetscape with the 2 adjacent properties, the historic house to the north and the non-historic house to the south. And there was the 1950s house, which again has been demolished, and this site is now vacant. So in terms of our heritage assessment, the design that you see today in May has had a significant reduction in glazing. So the maximum permitted in the district is 35%. It was previously 30% in the April version, and is now down to about 24.3%. So quite a big shift there. The windows are more traditional. They're now in groups of 2 and 3. As opposed to large sections of glazing. And again, they're the vertically proportioned windows that are consistent with what you see in the district and also throughout the rest of the house. And the more contemporary and what was kind of seen as institutional design by the committee last month has been replaced with this more traditional residential layout of windows. And the new design is considered to be more compatible with the character of the Heritage District. So this is the staff recommendation. It's essentially that the application from last November be approved, be amended, I should say, to replace the November design with the May design that you have in Appendix C to the report that you have on the agenda today. And we've also included that the conditions in the original heritage permit from November remain in effect. And again, these conditions are just that any final details on materials, colors go back to staff. So our sort of standard condition, and that of course it expire within 2 years. And I believe we have the architect here delegating as well, but I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you, Carolyn. Any questions of Carolyn? No, good. I'll just make a small comment, though, about the glazing, how 35 is allowed. It was 30 before, but it didn't look right to, I think, us and to people who delegated. I think it kind of shows you, when you look at the guidelines, you can't sort of take a fundamentalist approach and just take a sentence out of it. It may say 30%, but there's a whole pile of other stuff that talks about how it's distributed, how it forms the appearance of the building. And so it's not just, gee, I can have 35%, well, I can glaze the whole center bay of the 3-bay property, and you just can't do that. So that's good that we've had an opportunity to explore that. So if there are no questions, I think Rick had registered as a delegate. Is he available for us now, Madam Secretary?
Yes, I'm here now.
Okay, Rick, I can't see you, but I can hear you. So
Well, let me turn on my. There we go. I think I'm here in person now too.
Good. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So actually, just if I may, before I make any comments about this, I wanted to say to the chair that was a lovely tribute that you gave to Jamie McRae. I've also known Jamie for many years, had many conversations with him. I've never been on his boat, but I've had many conversations with him. And Jamie was Jamie's son played guitar at my wedding. And Jamie was a lovely man. He was a lovely man, an interesting man. I knew he was in bad health. The last time I saw him, it was obvious he was in bad health. And I'd heard from the community that he was in bad health. But I'm very saddened to hear of his passing. And I just wanted to say, Drew, that was a lovely tribute that you gave to him. And he'll be missed for sure. So just wanted to say that. In regard to this, yes, this project, yes. Thank you, Carolyn, for your comments. I think that the path that we've taken with the front elevation of this design has been useful, and I think that I have to agree with the comments from the committee that and staff that I think that it's a better design now than it was previously. So I was happy to make those changes and to see that take place. I was in contact with Lakeside residents. The committee will, of course, be aware that they were at the meeting last time and they delegated that they had concerns about the project. I was in touch with them with the new designs, and they got back to me saying that in fact their concerns had been addressed and they no longer had any concerns. So I take that as a positive, given how given their role in the community and so on. So I'm very happy with the design now. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I'd ask the committee for their support.
Thank you, Rick, and thank you for confirming that you've spoken with the Lakeside residents. I had assumed that since they weren't delegating today, that their concerns had been addressed, but that's good to have your confirmation. Are there any questions of Rick? No, good. Thank you, Rick. And I can now see our two councillors who are also attending the meeting today, but virtually. So I presume you can raise yellow hands or shout or otherwise get my attention if you wish to speak. Okay, thank you, Rick. Right.
Thank you.
So since there are no other delegates, it's now confined to the board. Any comments or discussion? Jerry?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would say that the project has come a long way. This is, as Carolyn mentioned, this is the third iteration of the project. And again, this is a very special site because the building will be terminating the vista that stands at the east end of Robinson Street. So it is a very rare architectural opportunity. I think that there's only one thing in my looking at the front elevation that appears awkward, and that is the canopy. I think there's still an element that doesn't seem to be resolved, and that is the canopy and just that little front middle portion. And that is my comment on that. I think everything else has come along very well, but I think there's just a little something that is missing on that front canopy porch area. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Jerry, thank you. Any other comments? Okay, would somebody like to give me a motion? Thank you, Sue. Sue has moved that the staff recommendation be approved. Is there any further discussion on that motion? No? Okay, is there anyone opposed to that motion? George? Okay, the motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I will say that I would be happy to Jerry's comment. I'll be happy to continue to have a conversation and to work with anyone from the committee who would like to see some changes to that front entrance. I'd be happy to make that suggestion if the committee would like to do that.
Good, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Right, the next item of business is information items, and we have none because the Heritage Project is kind of sitting back and we've done the district plan, I guess, so there are no standing information items at the moment. So the date and time of our next meeting is June the 24th, 2025 in the council chambers at 9:30. And I think Bob has given me a motion to adjourn. And no one will be opposed to that. So the meeting is adjourned. Thank you as always, everybody, for the gift of your time today. Not a very long day, but nevertheless valued. Thank you very much. The meeting is closed.